monthly, board meeting data presentation that we do. So she is just going to share some information on our ELL students. And our ELL students, I know it's another acronym, but it's our English language learners, and they take what's called the ELPA test in the spring. But she's going to share more information than just ELPA with y'all. She's got a little bit of data to go over.
Okay. Overall, this is the number of ELL students that we have district-wide. We have 0.25% out of all of Arkansas, and Arkansas is at 8.48, so we have a very small population of ELL learners. At the elementary, we have a total of 6. 2 are still in our program, and the other 4 are being monitored, which means that we're watching them closely. I keep up with them. I'll go check and say, hey, how are they doing, that sort of thing. The 2 have to pass that ELPA test. I'll talk about it a little bit as we go, but they have not, they're in 2nd grade. Both of those are in 2nd grade. We've had them kindergarten, and we had them 1st grade last year, and I really came into this last year, and I was a newbie, didn't know, started watching, and there's a little bit of growth, but not what we really want to see. And so we still have 2 there that we're working with, but 4 that have completed the program, and we're monitoring and making sure that they have the support they need. Then we go to middle school. We have 2 at middle school that we're watching, with 1 young lady that's still, she came brand new in March. I talked to the teachers today, said, hey, how's she doing? She's doing much better. Couldn't speak a lick of English. She and her brother could not speak English at all, and they're doing really well. They do really well in math because math is our universal language, so she's doing really well there. On to junior high, we have 4 that we're monitoring, and 1 that's still in the program. That is the brother to the sister that came, could not speak at all. He's doing amazing. He acclimates really well to other students. He's got a peer tutor. We try to peer tutor them with anybody that is in the program, has been through the program, and he's done really well. And then at high school, we have 3, and then 1 that we're working with. I had Miss Martin pull her in. We talked to her about her test the other day, because she actually went backwards, and I was very concerned about that. I said she was progressing, and then in April of last year, she scored worse on the ELPA than she had the previous year. And she told, I had a bad day, and that's the only time we can give it to her. So we talked to her, hey, what are we going to do to help you, and let's get you where you need to be. So the ELPA is the test that is given for kindergarten through 12th grade. When our students enroll, they'll have a home language survey. If they indicate that they do not speak English at home, we have so many days to make sure that they're tested. And then they will be tested once a year after that to see their progress. And we usually do that in the spring around April. And we have to because the feds say so. This is some of the skills that they are tested on: the listening, the reading, the speaking, and the writing. And as I talked to some people around the state, was trying to gather some information, a lot of times they can, the listening, they can pick up, they just can't verbalize back to us. They know exactly what's being said a lot of times, but they can't verbalize themselves. And so, but the writing is a little bit lower too, so we talked to our teachers. I've given them some pages that tell them kind of some things to do to kind of help and get the students where they need to be. Yes, sir.
Am I allowed to ask, what is their primary language?
The ones that we're monitoring now, it's all Spanish.
All Spanish.
But we've had other languages here. We had, are they Filipino?
Yeah, Portuguese, something.
It was something.
It was something other than Spanish.
Yeah. But right now, all of the ones we have are Spanish. And I know that, I'll tell you what we did for those students. So I know you can't see this, but these are some, helping you with some indicators. If they score a 0, they just did not, there was no response at all. And we had no zeros for any of our students. The ones, they answered a question, but it was really unrelated to what the question was asking. 2, it's somewhat related, and what we're looking for is the 5 when it relates. I'll give you an example. We had a little girl that she came in last year. She scored all 1s when she came into kindergarten. In the spring, she scored all 5s. So sometimes they're real nervous. They don't understand. Some of these kindergartners, just amazes me. Some of the kindergartners, they can't pick up on a lot of things just coming in speaking English. So, but this little girl that we just took her out of the program and we're monitoring her at elementary, she came in with all 1, and then when she was tested in the spring, it was all 5. So we're looking for the 5. So with that, with each one of the students that we have documented in eSchool, we get $366 for those students. I have to spend that money some way, so we have the earbuds. Our 2 that came in last year, they saved us because we had some old telephones here, and we can put the app on the telephone, and so the students, you put the one earbud will go in a student's ear, one can go in an adult's ear, and as they speak their language, the earbud translates onto the phone, and the students can keep up with it. And so our 2 that are one at junior high, one at middle school, they're using those daily. And we don't want them to get to where they're dependent upon those completely, but because of the testing and that sort of thing, but this is helping those students with the translating of doing the homework and that sort of thing. So I also bought Rosetta Stone. With Rosetta Stone, they hear and speak the language, and so that's working on their listening and speaking skills. So that takes some of that off of the teacher's plate where they're really working on that writing piece to help them with their writing part. And so we've got the one little girl, we went ahead because I'd already bought the Rosetta Stone thinking she was going to stay in because she scored 1s coming in last year. We went ahead and put her on there. I checked her this afternoon. She has gone through 2 lessons and it's second week, and she's got 100%. And then our little girl at middle school who's on Rosetta Stone, she's at 100%, and she has completed 1 lesson and halfway through her other lesson. So, any questions about that?
The one that had the bad day, could you retest her as not as the state mandated test, but just as an evaluation tool?
We could retest her this fall. It won't count, but
Right,
I don't.
right. So you would know then for sure if it was a bad day or for something else, or things that finally started clicking again, instead of waiting all the way into spring.
Well, we got a session in spring anyway.
Right.
But we brought her in, we talked to her. Miss Martin's working one-on-one with her. We're gonna I could tell with her scores. I really thought she would come in and test out in the spring, and we'd be monitoring this year, and that's why it just shocked me. It wasn't a significant drop but we're watching her. But we could test her again, but I don't want to over-test them. I mean, I'm gonna look
She'll
at
take the NWEA.
We're gonna take the
assessment
NWEA
anyways.
assessment soon, and I'll look at that and kind of talk to her a little bit about it and the ones at the middle school. So we'll be watching those.
So if she does, we don't have to give her something already to build her confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Especially in the next
Yeah, and we talked to her a little bit about the Rosetta Stone. We didn't really want it to be like a punishment, making it homework. So she's coming out of class and going into Miss Morton's office and working on it a little bit. And I'm monitoring those students. I looked last week to make sure they were on. If they weren't on, I emailed the principal, said, hey, they got to get on there. Look today. Actually had a little boy. We had his name. They gave me, he goes by 2 different names. And so his email was incorrect. So I had to fix him because I was like, hey, why is he not on here already? I'm on here today. And they were like his name. And so we fixed it. So, but we'll just have to be watching her.
Yeah,
Yes.
great program. That's awesome. And just 2 things. And Gerald and Daryl could probably attest to this, I'm sure, as the situation of the border, as the years progress, this program I can see rising very high.
Well, it's a it's a double-edged sword with that. If we can get up to 100, we can get funding and hiring a teacher. We have 2 teachers on staff, a kindergarten and a first grade teacher, that have the endorsement. Other than that, we don't. I found out that we hired an ALE aide that's very fluent in Spanish, and so we're going to be using her quite a bit. But they do not fund us other than that 366.
And we have how many students total? 10, 12, something like
There's
that?
15.
15.
15, 16 right in there. And, but once you get up to 100, the funding, starts coming in. But, I've asked teachers to try to take the training. They want, the state won't even pay for training for them to get on. And it's very expensive to take that test. And it's very difficult because we have outstanding teachers. 5th grade, Miss Skinner, she helped me out last year with, translating and helping me. Miss Mitchell and Miss Sheldon all helped last year. So we've got a lot of teachers that know, we just don't have the endorsements yet.
Well, like I said, I can see with the crisis at the border,
Yes.
it'll have to be addressed at some point through legislation.
Yes.
So hopefully it will. And I'm just curious, last thing, with the real serious language barrier to kids, how do they interact and accept it amongst
It's
other
individual.
kids?
Like I said, brother, sister, brother, and buddied up with people, just very social, and the sister,
Oh, wow.
just like this. So we had to move her around last year with a couple of kids and work out a few things, but it's all in their personalities. And when they come in first grade kindergarten, they take off. But once we get them in middle school, it's very tough.
Good work, though. Excellent.
If we continue to need more people that can do that, whether they need the certifications or whatever, maybe something that we have to look at for a stipend of some sort for that expertise. I mean, a lot of agencies and stuff for dual languages, they'll get extra paid.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you, Ms. President.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank
you.